This is our ribeye two ways video. We have a couple different ways we're cooking ribeye for this video. We had a event where they had a really big, really delicious, really special bottle of wine, and I was talking to Sawyer about what we should pair with it, and it was just too good. It would have been offensive to pair anything other than a ribeye with it. So we're gonna do two kind of roast style. You saw me cut that down into two halves, and then we're also gonna do some in kind of a big, really thick cut steak style for the truck for service. This is also part of experimenting with ways that we want to do things at our new brick and mortar. So we're kind of playing around and trying to figure out the best way of kind of presenting these really amazing, huge pieces of meat. So cut them into individual steaks now, really just trying to figure out where I can get around the kind of chine bones or the kind of backbone vertebra pieces while still keeping the steak nice and thick, making sure I trace all the way around, and then making sure I also cut very cleanly through and not trying to leave a bunch of back and forth saw marks, just making sure they look really, really good. And these ribeyes do look really good. You saw how they come out of the cryovac just like this. I'm not going to really trim them at all. I'm not going to trim any fat cap off. These are really nice steaks and I want to keep them as whole as possible. I'm just trying to cut them and portion them evenly. So what we're going to do with the ribeye big roast pieces is smoke them just on the offset. They're both going to get just salt and pepper. The offset is going to create a nice crust. It's going to cook them really nice and slowly. Ideally, we get that nice pink smoke ring blending into the pink of the meat, so you can't really tell which is which, and we're trying to avoid that gray band on the outside. And then with the steaks, we will also smoke them nice and slow on the offset, and then we will give them a grill at the end just to kind of sear them, and then also give them a little bit of a crust. You can see me portioning out these steaks now on a roasting rack above a sheet tray. I am going to put these in the walk-in to kind of dry out, not necessarily dry age or dry brine because I'm not putting any salt on them, or they're not really dry aging because it's not taking on any good mold. It is activating a little bit of enzymatic breakdown that's already happening within the piece of meat itself, and then they will also dry out a little bit, and some of that evaporative cooling will also make sure that the beefy flavor is concentrated in there. So just using some Dalmatian rub on these big roasts. Gonna go heavy on it. It's our salt and pepper blend. There's really nothing better for beef on the smoker. Just nice thick pepper, really good Diamond Crystal Kosher salt, just getting as much on there as I possibly can all the way around on every single piece, on every single side. We're not really going to get a chance to season this again after we cut it, so just making sure they're nice and heavily seasoned. In addition to making these ribeyes, I also did a chocolate dessert, like a chocolate gooey cake. Made some fish dip, some smoked fish dip, and crackers. Crackers were not very good. I also made an all beef sausage with thyme and mushrooms that came out really nice. That was just scraps from some other briskets. And then I cooked down some mushrooms and I pulled some fresh thyme from the garden in front of my house and made a really nice sausage for that too. Really the idea was to pair stuff with this really big, beautiful Lynch Bage, this mature wine that's probably 20 years old, and it was just so good. Here's the sausage being mixed up a little bit. You can see pieces of mushroom in there. Only made a pretty small batch. Didn't get too much footage on that sausage. Here's me casing up a bunch of it though too. It was really tasty. This is one I would like to revisit at a later time, but it came out really good. I was really happy with it. There's no cure in it. It's just a fresh sausage. These are after they've been dried overnight Getting ready to smoke these fresh for the event that day. Got some barbacoa on with the sausages, on with the prime ribs up front. It's almost time to get ready for this event. Running a pretty small fire in here. Pretty much trying to cold smoke, trying to choke that down a little bit, get a lot of smoke on the primes, a lot of smoke on the sausages, great color on them. They're all done and set now. Temping them to make sure they're all done. Not all of them are done, leaving some of them on. I think some of them were still in the 140s. Needed to go up just a little bit. Move the prime ribs around a little bit just to make sure they're not getting blasted on one side. And then you can also see how good these prime ribs came out looking. The crust, the color, just everything looks so good on them. Beautiful. All right, we're at the event doing a little bit of smoked fish dip on the crackers. Sawyer with the ghetto cannelle, a little bit of scallions. Also made some barbacoa tacos. Pressed out these little Hacienda blue corn tortillas too. Past appetizer. And here we go with the prime rib. Pat on the block. He asked me before, how do I cut this? And I was like, dude, I mean, you don't know? Okay. Take the bones off and then just cut it like steak. Just like that, nice in slices. Nice and thin slices. Look at that. Look at that pink rosy center. Beautiful. No gray band. Pink on the outside. Pink in the middle. That's a fantastic looking ribeye.
Huh? You want the new knife?
That's fine.
Oh.
Go again.
What's that?
Here's a little bit of the sausage. We're going to do a cross section of that. So you can see all the little pieces of mushrooms and everything in there. And look at that. Look at that sausage. Shiitake mushrooms, a little thyme, fresh beef. Another ribeye just to make sure both of them came out looking beautiful. Those bones are underrated too. Just cut them up. Ribeye on the bone. These little ribeye ends too, so good. End cut ribeye. Nice and salt and peppery. Here's the Chateau Lynch-Bage Magnum. I think it was a 2010. Alright, we're trying these ribeyes at the truck now. These ones we cut earlier. We don't need, even though they dried out, we don't really need any slather. We're just going to go on the offset with them. Pretty low, kind of toward the back. Gonna go 3 for service. I think we're selling these for like 45 a pound. Slicing some up. And then that's after the smoke. They already look incredible. Oh God, look at that thing. Oh! Well, move that out of the way. Get some rain on it. Time to grill these babies up. So we're going to set up our coals in the firebox and a little grill grate on top. And just fire these babies off. A little bit on each side. I was telling Travis kind of how to grill these. You want to keep flipping them. Let the flames get at it a little bit, but before it actually catches fire, turn it over and flip it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just a little bit of char on there is what you're looking for. You don't want it to be completely burned. And this is after the grill. They look awesome. The lighting in here looks really weird for some reason. But once again, beautiful pink rosy center. That's a hell of a steak right there. Just gonna lay these out, finish them with a little flaky sea salt. Jacobson's smoked sea salt. So what's up to Kevin in the background, Kevin? Oh yeah, there we have it. That's the money shot. So ribeye 2 ways. Thanks for watching, guys.